is quite... You must be quite a brilliant doctor to have pieced this all together.
No! I'm not a doctor. No.
I mean, professor.
Yeah, that's easier. I'm a professor. It's easier.
I'm sorry,
I'm not a doctor.
Your intellect is
No.
quite impressive, so... But professor, yes. Professor Knack. Thank you for showing this to me. It's quite impressive.
Isn't it fascinating? And then he, takes the letter back, and he, looks at it for a second, he's just like... Well, and he folds it up and he tucks it away and locks it in the drawer again.
Do you know how those work, the gentleman's voice?
Somewhat. I know that they need an explosive powder, but from what I remember of the prototype, it didn't quite fire the same way, which really fascinates me.
What do you mean?
I mean, it didn't fire the same sort of, what do they call them now? I believe they call them bullets. They were a little bit different, and it fired a little bit faster and a little bit sharper from what the letter said, but...
What did it fire?
I'm not sure, because I never had the actual ammunition for it. So, if
ammunition?
I have... Yes, the bits that you put into it and fire away. It's rather fascinating. But if I have the twin of the prototype, particularly now that the prototype is sold, to who knows where, but particularly now that the prototype is sold, if I have the twin of the prototype, and Gordon slaps a hand over his mouth and he's, the professor will speak to you all tomorrow. And the professor's
You're a bully.
He's like, I'm not a bully. I keep him out of trouble.
Look out for all the bullies.
And it was lovely to meet you all. Please have a lovely day. I'll unlock the doors for you. And so Professor Knack, is gathering things up into his case, and it doesn't look like he's grabbing anything in particular. He's kind of oh yeah, I do need to, and that sounds, and he's just grabbing bits and baubles and stuffing them into the briefcase, and Gordon goes ahead and he unlocks the classroom door for you and holds it open.
Back to the tavern?
I feel like God is telling us to go with them.
Just something any type of feeling.
But I don't wanna.
Yeah, OOC. It's
Go ahead and roll insight.
Okay. Let me see what that is. Oh, I'm very good at that. Watch me roll crap.
Also, please view my Kepler meme in the traders group.
25. That was almost a 1, and then it rolled over to a 19, and I was like, yes. Do you need a text me?
Yeah.
Does everybody need to leave the room?
No, I'm just gonna text you.
Okay.
Nice.
Particularly because this is a Temsin insight thing,
Yes.
so.
Guys, Dwarven Forge.
Also, really funny, I almost typed Temsin into my text.
To find my contact.
Good.
I also want you to know that Astordo was like, I saw your website, it looks amazing. I really want to play, but I'm afraid.
Aww.
I'm afraid.
You can watch.
Not just for
Yep. Hey, stop rolling those. I need to roll those.
These are like gushes.
Also, just stab myself.
Ooh, it's what?
Might be.
Oh.
Kind of firm.
Critical roll stats, guys. We need names so that we can do such and such stats, you guys. There have been 8 total whispers. Temsin has killed 8 out of 10 of all enemies.
What?
Alright.
Is that an accurate stat?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, we face more than 10 enemies.
I don't want to keep going on like this. Guys, D&D Beyond.
Alright, so are you guys heading back to the tavern?
Mac?
Uh-huh. So, are you guys are heading back to the tavern?
Nah.
We're in the upper.
Yes, you're in the upper tier right now.
Right? Is the palace in the upper tier, or is it in the next one?
No. The, it goes, lower is kind of like gathered at the bottom of the cliffside. Then it's middle, and then it's the upper, and then it's what's called, they call it the King's Domain.
Have we left yet?
Yeah, you've headed out. You're in, like, the courtyard of the hub. But yeah, so the King's Domain is where, like, that's where the palace is. That's where, like, the nobility resides. Because there are, like, rich people up here, but it's nobility that's even higher. And so, like, that's where rooms will go for, like, 400 gold a night kind of thing, is the King's Domain.
Have I seen them leave?
Yeah, you would have seen everyone kind of, like, flow out from the... Like, Gordon kind of ushered you all out, and he would have actually tried to close the door behind you all.
I'm also watching him because he's being so unbelievably not like...
I'll be
I'm
right
watching
back.
him.
I go back to the door and knock on it.
Okay. And Gordon opens the door, and he's... Yes. And he actually only opens the top one.
How
like,
much-
the bottom one is still, like, closed and locked.
How
Is he
much
within
do you...
earshot?
I mean, that's really up to, like, how fast you all are walking.
Yeah, whatever.
How much do you know about this voice?
We have received a few gentlemen's voices here and there, but as much as anyone who fires them uses.
Where did it come from?
We can't be entirely sure. There are differing reports.
But you've seen them in use.
Well, yes, young ladies use them at parties to fire on their fine china, and yes, they're quite a,
Parties?
yes. Is there something else I can help you with, young man? I really need to get the professor back home before he gets involved in a project.
No, sorry. Thank you.
All right, and thank you for your time. And he goes ahead, and you hear the thunk of a lock sliding into place.
I walk back.
Okay.
All right. Oh, you waited. Thank you.
Okay.
What time is it?
That's early afternoon.
Back to the tavern, I suppose.
Okay. So you guys go ahead and you head back to the tavern for the night.
And as typical, Tenzin has information that we'll never know.
Does this happen a lot?
Alright. What do you do with the rest of your afternoon? Do you want to star swipe, or do you have things that you would like to do?
Well, she's got a date.
Yeah, I got a date. Let's have a conversation quickly, because I think this is... We want to be sure what we are saying tomorrow. And also, I think it is not a bad idea for us to just have a game plan moving forward. Whether this job with Professor Knack works out or not. Our ultimate goal in the city is to contact the king and ask him why he's not spoken with Oak. Which means we cannot use Oak's name, because that would defeat the purpose. How do we want to try and do that?
Speak with him? I think this is our best option. It's our only option, so that makes it the best one. And yes, it's not ideal, because if we fail, they'll be after us.
Lena, is there a forum of any kind, some way to request to see the king?
And sure enough, she knows that there is, but it might take you weeks to get an audience with him if he decides to see you at all.
He's choosy about who he sees, and at best, a
Yeah,
month.
it would take some time, yeah.
I mean, do we have the kind of time to waste doing that?
Let's just yeehaw junction. God is telling us to go.
So Do you want to do anything else this afternoon, or?
I think so.
I'm gonna read and write in my room
So
and
the
perform
day-
my evening ritual when the time comes.
Our potions are still going.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You would have another day on them.
Okay, another day.
Yeah.
The bootlegged hooch you got going on in the room.
So you go ahead and you return to Benevolence's, where you have another lovely evening together. And the following morning, same as before, the gentleman is waiting outside the door to either lead you down to breakfast or to see you on your way out. Okay. And this time she is like looking at a letter and she like crams it back in the envelope and slaps it down and I told you I did not want that cheese. I don't eat cheese in the... Oh, good morning, Aincrod. Did you sleep all right?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much. Are you alright? You seem troubled.
I am frustrated. How are you with puzzles?
I'm decent, I like to think.
Well, the first morning that you were here, I received 2 letters, and they were the exact same, and they made absolutely no sense. They asked me to wear a blue gown. I don't even own a blue gown anyway.
How do you not own a blue gown? I would think that you own...
Well, I do not own a particular blue gown. However, I thought that was the end of things, but then again this morning I have received the exact same letter. And it makes no sense. What do you know of artistry?
Of what type? I am decent in I am decent in different kinds of artistry, but I would have to know specifically what we are speaking of.
Well, now, this might be a little shocking to hear, but I did not come by my wealth on my own. I have what is fondly referred to here as a benefactor. And the benefactor, well, I perform artistry for them in the ways of fashion, and they provide very well for my living situations. And of course the money that I make selling clothes and designing gowns and all those lovely things, well, that is my money to keep, but every now and again my benefactor requests that I send them something in particular. And I often receive letters from them, but you see, I don't exactly know who they are. And I'm quite sure that they have other patrons, but I feel sure that this is a puzzle somehow. And she hands you a letter.
Ooh. I know this paper.
It smells like coconut in here.
I wonder why.
It's like coconut. I like how 3 of our reactions were like, I wonder why.
And the gentleman is standing there and she's like, my gods, why do you have that cheese again? And he's, Miss, you sent me a note stating that you wanted cheese with breakfast. And she's like, I do not want it. And
May I see that note, please?
And he hands you just a small note that says, I would very much like this, the,
Holy
I didn't come up with any of it. But he hands you, it's essentially just this, I would like this Swiss cheese with breakfast. And it's in what looks like Benevolence's handwriting, and
I want to please.
How exactly did you get this note?
well, it was with my other daily requests that the madam sends me throughout the day and the evening. And I
Did you
usually...
send via messenger or...
No, they
Silver
just
dust?
sort of pile up in the silver tray that I keep outside my room for her.
He's the cheese poison.
This is peculiar. Benevolence, you do not remember writing this?
Of course not. I was busy. And he sets a tray of cheese down.
It is a poison.
And he
There's a cheese buzzer.
And he steps back, and she's like, "Hey, Angerod, darling, why are you touching that with your fingers?"
It's a cheese puzzle.
Maybe they're not touched the
puzzle. Can you
worse.
imagine? Like
But
your guest.
I wash my hands.
And with just like
Cheese.
Just putting cheese on your letter.
Yeah.
2 nights
Bring
there.
that cheese. You're right. Sorry, how can I forget? A cereal one day.
I believe this could be your answer, darling. But give me a moment. I will find it.
And she like slowly eats her breakfast, and she's like, "You're touching it with your fingers."
Hello, y'all. Welcome to the Design
Powered by Mackenzie doesn't have enough table space.
Powered by Space.
Oh god, I thought that was falling at first.
Okay.
These are
Fully up.
Y'all, one of my high school
That was
friends
the second picture.
just like feigned interest in my life to try to get me involved in a pyramid scheme.
Yes.
No,
Say yes.
Say yes. They always work.
Oh yeah, every single time.
It is not a very kind letter. If it is your benefactor.
Yes, it doesn't make much sense at all.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't even own a blue gown that they gave me.
Also, thank you for the lotion because my hands were cracking and were hurting for you.
Thank you for the
That was
lotion. It was
great.
really good
Thank you for
lotion.
the
Really?
lotion. It just smells really nice.
Really, none of that makes any sense to me.
None of it.
It's
Thank you for the lotion for making everyone look
could potentially make sense to me. I just have to figure out exactly how it fits.
My hands hurt so bad, bro.
That looks like a
What were you gonna say?
corner. That looks like
probably
a
don't have
corner,
time for
but it's got a hole.
Wait, how long has it been since you've talked to this person?
Huh?
2 years.
You should be like,
Like, yeah, that sounds great.
One of my pyramid scheme, it's called Loving Jesus.
What
We meet every Sunday.
It's passive income building through insurance assets.
Two.
Hell yeah.
MLM.
No, there's two.
You can just see it in bold.
Just tell them that you're busy forever. Just verbatim.
Yeah, I'm saying I probably don't have time for that.
You know why? Because I'm trying to build my position.
Sarah, this is
is so cute.
amazing.
It is the
Yeah.
My brain
Your
was like,
cheese puzzle.
they are going to say yes or no to literally any of your plot hooks. Give them many. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
My favorite thing though is that just imagine you're on your second date and your girl is like, "I need that cheese on your letter." Well,
Girl, I
okay.
need this cheese to solve your letter. What is that? A euphemism?
No, I like that one. I
Yeah.
really hand it over. I need it.
Hey, little mama, let me read your letter with your cheese.
Immigrants cause cancer.
Can I ask you weapon questions while she's doing that?
Yeah.
America.
The
Why?
throwing stars.
Mm-hmm.
Can I throw more than one at a time? Can I throw 2 at a time? Like one in both hands?
What is it with darts? I can't remember because they have a similar thing as darts.
Let me see. I think I have those. Dart, ranged weapon, 1d4 plus 5 because of my proficiencies.
Mm-hmm.
Simple, finesse, stone, range. I don't know. It doesn't say. But I just wanted to ask.
For now, you can throw one at a time. When you hit, I think your next level is level 5.
Yes.
When you hit level 5, I'll let you throw 2.
Okay. And then damage-wise, what will it do?
I think it was just the dart,
Oh, you can roll for it.
like the dart damage.
Okay.
So 1d4 plus
Also,
5.
just think we can take it home.
And then,
Intelligence to go.
is the needler considered? Is that something I'd be proficient in since it's like a
Yes.
simple weapon?
Yeah.
Okay.
a box?
Figured I'd just ask now.
There's a finite number of ways that this can come together,
Yes.
but I don't know if I'm making hard edges.
All of us together will be as smart as Angeron is by yourself.
Honestly. Hey, that's what I'm doing. I'm not as smart as Angron is. You guys are my supplementary intelligence. Let's go. Because the holes all have to be.
Yeah, you can all help solve this puzzle.
In
Like,
order
I'm
to
definitely
make it
not saying that, like,
work.
Mackenzie is the only one that's able to do it.
No, Mackenzie, you're smart. You gotta do it on your own.
You are the cheese master.
Master of the cheese.
These look like they go together to me.
Well, you also don't know what's front and back.
Yeah,
Yeesh.
correct. I love how this picture is, hey, look at this player I have that's doing this puzzle, but it's also calling me out as the one that had a booty call.
Yeah, you
That
did.
resulted
Get
in
us
me
that
getting this
plot
puzzle.
point.
Well, that's kind of what I was hoping for. I'm not
Wait,
gonna
that one
lie.
and this one. Is that one? No, I'm just. Yeah, there's only so many ways it can go together.
Yeah.
If it goes together at all.
Yeah, if it goes together at all. Like, it could just be
Some chunks.
you have to move it until you
don't have to
find
get rid of
something
it.
that works.
How many pieces are there? There's 4 pieces.
Like, this has a hard edge here, so I could just need to move it. Sense and Society works.
Is it against hard edges?
I
And
don't
not all
know.
of them. This one.
Not all of them have a hard edge.
The rest of it.
Okay, so this has a cutout that creates one of these long holes. So it makes sense to me that it would have to be together. So then we have to just move it until we find something that makes sense, I guess.
But also, you could take that whole piece and flip the whole thing upside down and see if it gives you something else if that doesn't work.
It's like, where it needs to sit in order to do this. Yeah, it makes sense to me that it would sit horizontally.
Sarah doesn't let anger out roll for this, does she?
I mean, I don't let it go. This is a puzzle. You gotta figure this shit out.
Does this say plain? Explain that.
And as you're like shuffling cheese around on this letter, she's continuing to mumble to herself, and she's like, "What book? He never gave me a book."
Oh, there's a book.
So that's your clue, is that one of the words is book. But
That one right there.
Maybe it's one of the ones that has multiple stuff. Because then that'll help with some context clues.
I like your French music, Daniel.
Oops.
Is this the French booty call music?
Let's do from
Oh, Sean.
weird book. I did it, you guys. You're welcome.
You didn't like that?
Your book. Hi, I'm a genius. You're welcome.
Where book?
Sarah's giving us like, oh, wear a book. That means you have to get silver bullets.
And then
Sarah's
this.
like, for the love of God, you need to go to the Hall of Records, so help me God.
Rick. Just gonna eat my bread like an orphan child.
My favorite way to eat bread.
Good. Destroyed.
I mean, maybe. Maybe they don't go the normal one. That makes sense.
Wow, I am just. Yep.
Do it. Do it.
Good. Just doing that.
So wait, do we want to like?
Are we sure that's it?
I don't
No,
think
I'm not positive.
I think it makes a lot of sense.
This is metagaming, but I also think it would make more sense to me if the markings were the side that we use.
I get that. I also agree with that. We love metagaming.
So we had it.
Yeah. We had it flipped that way.
We had it here. More book.
I'm in love with these cups.
They're good cups.
You want in?
It's just like, what's his name?
Bull.
Never gonna give you. I rickroll this for this.
Aaron, do you want to help with the puzzle?
Yes. Wash the cup.
Okay, I feel bad. I just put on that lotion and I washed my hands, so now the lotion's gone, but my hands hurt so
Put the
bad.
lotion back on.
Sorry, I'm using your lotion.
So far.
I took the bread off.
What?
I said I took the bread off, boy.
What is it?
The French onion.
Ah.
If I didn't have the bread or the cheese. Don't worry, Daniel. I got you.
I was just being silly.
Oh, that does make sense.
But it doesn't down here. And then
So-
if we flip it, it doesn't here. But here, I like that.
Did you read the letter?
It's vaguely threatening. My love was lost the second you put someone else on the shelf. From the first moment I saw you. I thought we had something special. I'm sorry that was not the case. Please wear your blue gown tonight and carry the book I gave you. I know only half the things I say make sense, but I was here only half the things I say make sense. That might be something. But I was here to bring you out to society, not explain the world to you. Make our grievances untouchable. Love.
I feel like.
She was saying a bunch of stuff about blue earlier.
Yeah, her blue dress and then a book that.
She was like,
there only
oh,
four pieces?
I don't, the blue dress
Yeah,
or
there's
whatever.
only 4.
So if she doesn't have a blue dress, then he would say have the blue dress. Something
difficult.
I mean, doing the cheaty thing in my head says like
Yeah.
she had to draw the lines on
Yeah.
the cheese, so
Yeah,
this
same.
might be the right way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And then
too.
also like
Blue.
I don't know.
Do these match?
I wonder if it can go off the paper though. You know what I mean?
These matching stuff?
But it says blue book. What is that last one? Half. Blue book.
Announcement in excitement.
And that makes sense to me too because half was very emphasized.
Yes, I believe that.
Don't you peeky peek.
Shake. God forbid. Shoot. Hits with newspaper. No, come in.
Okay,
You're
but does
cute.
this really, is this like, are we assuming that this meets up with another yellow cheese?
Well, that's
Sarah
what
might
I'm
just be
wondering.
tricking us.
Let's say this happened
Because all the
actually.
cheese holes
Not all of them
matter.
have hard edges.
Yeah. So it can't, and it also doesn't all fit on the paper.
Right, I was gonna say, like, there's not a lot that could fit.
Look
up
at her
here.
little smile. She's evil.
I have to be a tricky person with puzzles because you all worked at a freaking escape game.
Legitimately, we had like to unscramble words at work the other day, and I was like, okay, and it was a long ass word. They were like, it was dual enrollment was one of the things they had to unscramble, and I was literally like, okay, and all my coworkers were like,
Does that fit
why
up here
can't you
somewhere?
do this?
Don't ask questions.
Love someone.
It kind of does.
Second shelf.
Watch is just literally.
Oh, second shelf.
Nice, nice, nice.
Book.
Blue book.
Blue
Half.
book,
Okay,
second
kinda.
shelf. Alright, so now then we have to see where
How
this
fucked up would it be if she
fits.
gave us these cheese
Well, that might
slices,
fit
but
up
really
here and
there's
this
only
might
half
fit
the
down
letter
here.
that we needed because it literally
Because
states
of
it in the letter
the height and size.
Do what?
Because of the height and size of this, it might fit. You see what I'm saying? Like, where will it fit?
I think it might be able to go off though.
First, second shelf. Second shelf
Second,
first.
first shelf.
Immigrants call us
Wah.
I just keep picturing the cat getting the ham thrown on him, and he's between the wall and the couch.
Oh, the bun.
And he's like,
Does she see anything with her eye?
The signature, actually.
Horizonte. I wish I knew what my gift was.
Is there a signature?
Wait, the signature glows?
Ooh.
Wait, what does your power do again?
Shows me plot points.
It is the eye of
So does that mean
Cloteth,
love is part
the
of
god of moving the game along.
Genuine. The DM was like, "Dear Lord, can you go?"
Well, no, it's also just a really good way of like if you guys want to do side quests, you can do side quests. But then if you are like, no, we want to do plot, then you know where the plot
Really
is.
cool if I
Plot,
knew
plot.
reminded.
Plot, plot.
You know.
How does it feel that your booty call is just part of the plot?
Where she had a booty call, and then I was like, yeah, I can do something with that.
Right, this is where
No, it was
But love.
it's fine. I'm just going to.
But love.
But love. You know, there's something out there for everybody, and if you're into that, that's not.
Bad
I know it was called
emphasis.
booty call, but
But
also
love.
booty call.
Worth repeating.
My second shelf, blue book,
Start
half
talking
love.
about butt love, Mackenzie, because you were
Can
saying
you
that, and I was
flip
like, alright,
that?
we're going there.
Here we go.
That one, does it flip? Well, I guess it would probably be the same thing.
If we're keeping them all on the same side.
You wouldn't be
Oh, but then-
like, Sarah, you're not going so evil that it cuts up words, right? Like, the holes are cutting up words. So if it was, like, understandable, and you're just, like, able.
No,
Okay,
no,
cool.
I'm
I was
not.
about to say, please don't kill us.
My brain would blow up.
Yeah.
No,
That's a
I'm
promise.
no like maybe later, but not right now.
Boom.
Maybe later.
Well, now that you brought it up, I have to incorporate it into next week's puzzle.
That
That is amazing.
Love. It's just, that's how it's signed as love.
Butt love.
But
So there's
Very
absolutely no
specific.
signature on this, like actual signature.
What if
There's
this is
just a
love?
parting.
What if this is just love?
I hate the little
no,
smile.
backwards is evil. If that's helpful.
But who's mine?
And then that one would go somewhere else. I don't know, I
I
guess
think
it
I
doesn't
tried
fit.
that.
Can it fit the other way?
What if it fits somewhere over here and this is over here somewhere?
Carly, could I
But
get
second shelf
Yes.
blue book makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That is like the only thing that makes sense. Carly's
that
coming
does
in.
kind of.
Don't be alarmed. I'm over your shoulder.
Is there anyone here? Is that okay?
I was gonna say, is that one a good thing? Are we cold
Like,
or
is this
cold?
not here?
I can
Just kidding.
I can give you another clue if you roll high enough on insight.
No looks very written, emphasized.
No.
I
Looks very endless.
I will say, like, outside of clues, don't take anything on how, like, thin or, like, thick the lines are, because I was literally scribbling it back in the bedroom because I realized I hadn't.
Ah, this
That's
is why we
literally
did the
what I
hair
thought
thing.
it was. That's literally
Shout
how
out to
I
my
was reading it, and I was like, no, maybe not. But
Yeah,
now I can't say anything. I love that I am at your
Yeah.
par of thinking at this point.
It's real good.
Crown of deceivingness.
Deception.
This is called mischievous claws.
Alright,
+4, so it's a 17.
Also branded like
Okay.
something else.
second shelf is, like, that seems pretty, you're pretty sure that's at least part of it.
But not blue book.
Hmm?
But not blue book.
She only got a 17, so.
Oh,
I said a clue.
Only a 17. Okay, second shelf.
Yes.
What is that? Butt only? No, what is it?
Okay.
Butner.
Good
No,
old
book
Butler.
had to be in it.
Remember that was the other code? Oh.
Oh,
But we
she is
can-
being so
Maybe a different
generous
We have
one.
lots of
to-
different
Who
things
asked
for
but never
book that
answers?
cover
God.
book.
My wife,
Well, let's
the Lord.
my soul when I ask it to respond.
so that.
You can still help them with the
Does
rest of the
book fit
puzzle,
in the
though.
bottom smaller circle of that one?
No, honestly, all the things that you have said are
the bottom in
100%
this
up their
one.
alley of understanding. They're just not looking at it the right way.
No.
Wait, do what you were doing before.
Honestly,
Book
though,
in the
like,
small circle
everyone
here?
here is so smart that whenever I do something that stumps them for longer
like,
than 10 minutes, I'm like, fuck yeah!
This is the equivalent
Not
to like getting into the last room of Prison Break and
not.
being like,
Second shelf.
I don't understand anything. I don't get
Yeah.
it. And then you're like,
Not the blue book.
super zoom out.
If that works. Oh, I'm sorry you're so sleepy.
This is rough.
I'm gonna wait for a while. I used so much energy today.
Wait, put that back that way? Does it, oh, it doesn't line with this and that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sarah, you should take a picture of this and put it on the Discord group for the Pickled Dragon.
This is identical to the situation of being a game guide in your first week where you're like, I know all the answers, la 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 la, and then after that it's
I'm
just...
not
The mystique goes away.
blue.
But with Sarah, the mystique never goes away.
But that doesn't really quite fit there comfortably.
Thank you.
Hello,
Okay.
Clarice.
I think that makes the most sense.
Half book blue?
Oh, this is your knee. I was like, why is this a different texture than the table?
It is I mean, you can continue to do that if you want.
Just the end. Is this comforting?
Not
one?
really. Now
Okay,
it's
good.
creepier.
Well, and if we move that down, does that then make this fit?
Somewhere there. But then also she said the signature glows, but that might just be that this is a sign that this is part of the plot,
plot.
and not that it's necessary the signature needs to be covered.
Yeah.
I have to send her something, Sarah.
Because this has to be finished out.
Right, if that is there.
So then, like, this makes sense to me. But it doesn't yield anything.
Right.
Sierra, check the Dungeon Master's Lounge and Pickled Dragon.
And this doesn't fit.
Tagged you in it.
What?
This doesn't fit there at all.
We're in the same Discord chat. So I just posted a picture of the puzzle and I'm like, at breakfast, Angrad's host asked for help puzzling through a letter and also received several slices of cheese with breakfast that she absolutely hated.
Adele!
And
You're in as Adele!
Yep, and the Pickled Dragon goes, that is an amazing idea. And then he goes, Crit Cosmetics, check this out.
That's very good.
Absolutely right, sir.
That's my DM.
That's amazing.
And be like, I'm literally playing through this right now.
I'm sitting in the room.
Does he not know?
I am suffering in this.
I didn't mention
That's so
it.
nice.
Did you see my message?
No, I'm gonna read that now.
No.
You're in it too?
No.
No, it's giving away the end.
Oh.
Wait, you're in the Discord as well, Aaron?
Oh, no, she sent me something in through
okay,
text.
okay.
I know, I was like, just your brain, it doesn't see the problem.
I love that you thought of me. That's so cute.
It is really sweet.
What is the number?
Also, the probability of that happening is so fucking funny.
I know. Well, literally, I realized afterwards I posted some stuff in there because Sarah's not in there too frequently. But I was like, Sarah, don't go in there because I didn't realize she was in there.
Yeah, like I go in for crafting tips and stuff like that. And
And I was posting
Second
a bunch
shelf,
of the
first
stuff I was
blue
working-
book.
workshopping.
Half.
I just love the maniacal,
Make our grievances untouchable. That's so familiar.
yeah? Good.
Second
Lowers.
shelf first.
Blue book.
Second shelf first case. Blue book. Half out.
Is that correct?
do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I only have books in the study, but I don't have a book that... Oh, heavens, what book could they be talking about?
Could I take a look in the study?
Sure, but it was built when the house was, well, everything was sort of in place when I... Yes, that's just fine. And she, pushes back from the table and she, ushers you to follow her, and she's, her bustle's, bouncing as she's just, rather peeved as she's like, and everything was in place when I moved in, and I was given strict orders not to move anything in the house except for in my bedroom, as she, pushes open the doors to the study, and it's this beautiful, beautiful study, and there are just, there's, 5 or 6 bookcases all around, and there's just more books than, any one person has reason to read through in their lifetime. And she's like, And I really don't read like this.
Well, I do. It's just beautiful. Let me see, and I'm gonna look and see if the first shelf, if there's a blue book anywhere that's protruding.
There is. On the second shelf, there is a blue book, and it's in place. It's not out or in any particular fashion. It's kind of in line with the others around it.
Okay. I'm gonna go over and forgive me, darling. I will put it right back afterwards. I promise. And pull it.
Okay. And you pull this book just very carefully halfway out, and you hear a grinding noise. And the both of you turn, and this cherubic statue holding a bow turns on its pedestal to aim at an ornate mirror on the far side of the room. And Benevolence is like, oh, heaven! What on earth is that moving for? Is that I wonder if that's magic. Oh, heavens, I certainly hope not.
It's alright, darling. It looks mechanical to me. Is it aiming at anything? Do I see anything in the mirror that it's pointing at, or?
Right now you're just kind of like on one side of the room and the mirror's at the other. So it just looks like it's aiming at the mirror.
Okay, can I go inspect the mirror?
Okay. Go ahead and roll perception.
Decent at that one. That's gonna be a 15.
Okay. You peer at the mirror, and you realize as you approach, like, you can see yourself in the mirror, and you can see, like, Benevolence, but, like, you don't look quite right. It looks like there's almost a screen in front of you, and you realize that some things in the room are not the same.
I'm fucking great at these. Okay. Let's go.
This is the one she's like,
yeah. She's like, where's my pen?
I'm very good at these. Okay, the lamp is on versus the lamp is off. So you are different.
And again, you guys are free to help with
Yeah.
the puzzle.
Goddess is not there. The whatever it's called.
Yeah, the dress form.
The books are different over the flowers.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's just like
That's so fun.
I love these. There's something
Yeah,
down
under the
here,
chair.
Under the chair.
Are these turned differently there and there?
Yes, they are.
Where?
Let me go
There
ahead
you
and
go.
get a picture of this one too.
I don't know what the difference is, but I wish I had a white gel pen. I'd be very good for those.
Do we know how many differences there are?
I have a black pen.
Oh, whatever that is, under the table leg. There
Oh, yeah,
and
she's
there.
right
Oh.
there.
circle, just not.
I will say that the lamp is the same. I don't know why it printed out that way.
Okay.
But the lamp is not one of it.
Okay. Which one matches the room that I'm in?
The one. Wait, let me see.
With
The one on the left.
Oh, so there's no dress form in the room.
No, there is no dress form.
Interesting.
And there's no thing under the chair. And is that a column instead of a?
Up here? I
Yeah.
have no idea. I can't see it. It looks like something's on that.
Yes, we'll bring in the light.
Yeah.
Count the stairs, count the drawers.
Well, no, I think that's it. That feels about right to me.
There are less books on the table.
Yeah, we circled that.
Oh, I see.
It's hard to see without it.
Yeah, it's because of the pen I'm using.
So there's things missing in the room that you're currently in
Yeah.
from the picture that you're looking at. So maybe you need to go investigate those. Are there differences between the books? It's
If
a
I-
lot to tell.
No, I don't think so because this is all of these are superimposed on the image,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're a little bit like you see the edges of it, and there's none of that in the bookshelf.
How did you make this, sir?
Hmm?
How did you make this?
I was actually going to call my mom and be like, hey Mom, I need you to take 2 pictures of the bookshelves in our living room
LOL.
and like remove these things and replace it with other things, but I didn't have the time to do all that, so that's so good.
If I go and feel in the area where the dress form should be, do I feel anything there?
You go ahead and you like, after kind of getting a feel of this, you do see that where the dress form is behind the desk in the room, there's nothing there. But go ahead and roll investigation.
Yeah, go for it. Sure. 17.
You do find, where did I write it? You do find on the back of the chair is a knob that looks like a small button.
Okay. So I press that,
Okay.
and then I go over underneath the chair in the corner where I see the object on the floor, and search for a button there.
You actually go ahead and you find a little lever.
Flip that
Okay.
up the stairs to the banister.
Okay.
Search around that area.
You don't see a button there, but you do feel like that the stair rail is kind of loose there, and it actually twists into like a different place.
Any reaction? Oh, and the books. I go over to the stack of books on the desk.
Okay. You rifle through the books on the desk, which like they look like they've been dusted but never opened, and you just open the top book, and inside on the desk itself is a button.
Okay. And I press that.
And so you did the chair first.
Yeah, I did where the dress form is, and then the chair in the corner, the banister, and then the books.
Maybe write that down. Like this pattern game is.
Use the cheese.
I'm burning.
Sorry.
Lord. Dress form, chair,
There was buttons there.
banister, books.
No, it's
Thank you
fine.
for the thought, though. I appreciate it.
What?
Bring it in.
Nothing happens.
Okay. Let's go top to bottom, I guess. So I'm gonna do the banister first, and then the chair where the dress form should be, the books, and then the chair underneath.
Okay, so you do the stair rail first.
Yep.
So you go ahead and you put everything kind of like you like actually when you go back to like look at the buttons again, you find that they have like gone back into their original positions. So you go ahead and you twist the stair rail, and this time when you twist it, you hear a soft click.
Okay.
Which one did you do next?
The back of the chair where the dress form should be.
Same thing. This time when you push the button, you hear a soft click.
Okay. And then the book.
Nothing. And when
Everything
you
resets.
it resets.
Okay. So banister, dress form, underneath the chair, and then the book.
This person put in some complicated button mechanisms.
Some advanced buttonry.
Oh, without magic.
Okay, so you
So you
said
think.
stair rail,
Uh-huh.
back of chair.
Yep. Underneath the other chair,
Mhm.
and then the books.
Okay, yeah. And now when you yep, so you go ahead and you hear another like a soft click, and then you both turn, and Benevolence is like, "Oh my heavens. What is this?" And you see that a small panel on the bottom side of the statue has actually slid open, and inside is another letter, as well as a small gold box.
Okay. Can I take them out?
Yeah. So, I unfortunately did not have the, I didn't have time to write the letter for the second one, so I'm just going to, like, give you what it is. But it says, "Such a big puzzle for such a small window of time. A little bird tells me that this might be at the top of your list. Would you like to find others? And this one isn't signed like the letter that Benevolence received was.
And then what's in the box?
You open the box and there's a soul stone.
Dun, dun, dun.
What's a soul stone?
Can you read the...
What
There's
is
the
this?
sparkling
This-
segue.
Oh.
That was what it was originally.
Sorry, I was thinking.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Thanos about to show up, snap
What
his
is it?
fingers.
It's one of the blue gems.
Okay.
Sparkling.
And
Toys.
it says, such a big puzzle for such a small window of time. A little bird tells me that this might be at the top of your list. Would you like to find others? And you realize that when you open the box, you realize that it is a lead-lined box that has been dipped in gold.
Oh my
I'm not
goodness.
leaving it open, and I'm definitely moving it away from Benevolence.
Okay. And she's like, what was that?
Something very dangerous that you don't need to worry about at the moment, darling. Looking around the room, are there windows?
No, there are no windows in here.
Small, such a big puzzle for such a small window of time. Something about a little bird told me is at the top of your list. If we were in a room, I'd say that's a directional lock.
Do you have a list?
I know this feeling. You're on your private mission.
Yeah.
Tenzin had his. I was like, oh, I know this feeling.
There's nothing else inside the statue in that area?
It was literally just the letter and the box.
Oh yay. Such a big puzzle. There's such a small window of time. What was the next line?
A little bird tells me this might be at the top of your list.
Up the stairs. Maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Or a tiny window in the big room that's at the top of the room.
Keep in mind, Benevolence is still like in the room with you.
I believe we might have a puzzle left for you, but it is admittedly one that is taking me a moment to work through, darling. I apologize for taking up your valuable time.
No, this is quite interesting. Now, what does it say?
And I read it to her.
Okay.
It was such a big puzzle for such a small window of time. A little bird told me that it would be at the top of your list. Do you want another?
I'll just put out my notebook for you. So you can
So-
like have it to look at.
Okay, thank you. If I go and look at the top of the stairs, is there anything up there?
No, that's just like where the bedrooms and stuff are. But and like there are some windows and stuff, but like you don't like Benevolence is just now like following after you.
Oh,
and she's,
big window and top are the capitalized words. Is there a skylight anywhere?
Do you ask Benevolence or are you just running around the house?
Darling, is there perhaps a skylight or a window, something big towards the top of the building?
Well, not necessarily towards the top, but I do have a rather large window in the ballroom.
Could I see it?
Yes, certainly. And
The
she
box
like
is coming with me. I tucked it in.
okay, and she leads you in, and she slides open these beautiful double doors, and it's just this expansive ballroom. And she, yes, see, just there. That's perhaps not the largest in the neighborhood, but it is quite lovely. And it's like just wall of window.
Okay. Can I look and see if any of is it panes of window? Like window sections?
Yeah, it's just like it's sectioned off windows. It's
Okay.
very lovely though.
Okay. Do I see anything towards the top, any of those sections that catch my eye?
Go ahead and roll perception with advantage.
Oh shit. Okay, I'll take that. Alright. That's gonna be 23.
Yes. you do see what appears to be a small gold key
You rolled so well. On this
sitting at the
Yeah,
top
yeah.
of the window frame.
Ooh, ooh. Darling, do you have a ladder that I can borrow?
Certainly. And she goes out and you hear her calling to some of the servants, and they bring in this really lovely ladder.
Want to use mage hand.
I was gonna say, just mage hand it down.
I can't. Well,
It just flings off of wherever it is. And you're like, oh, how did that happen?
But yeah, she goes ahead, and a couple servants bring in this really large ladder, and she's, oh, darling, let them climb it. Where do you want it?
Just here. It's okay. This is by far not the most dangerous thing that I've ever done before.
Yeah, do be careful of your hem.
I appreciate the thought, and I give her a kiss before I climb the ladder.
Okay.
Get up to the top.
And you find
so
this small gold key with a tag that reads the Opal Fields.
Oh.
Benevolence, darling, are you familiar with the Opal Fields?
Well, yes, it's a performance hall, and there's music readings, and there's poetry readings, and there's dances, and it's quite lovely, and it's viewed quite favorably with those in the higher societies. And that's actually where most artists go to find their beneficiary. If you want a patron, then you go there and you perform, and you hopefully do well enough that someone will sponsor you.
Well, I think your beneficiary is trying to find you.
But they know how to find me.
But they might be wanting to test your wit, your intelligence. See who exactly it is that they're sponsored.
Heavens, perhaps it has been some time since I have gone.
How about, since I am not familiar, but you are, and you say it is a place of great enjoyment, we go for the night. You show me what there is to be seen, and if along the way we find a way to use this, and I show her the key, then that is...
And she immediately gasped, and she's like, heavens, that's to a patron's box!
What is that?
Well, you see, the Opal Fields, you don't go just to be a spectator, darling. You go if you are a performer, or you go if you're a patron. If you're performing, then you have to pay a small sum to get in. And like I said, if you get a patron, then, well, you make your money back in spades. If you are a patron, however, you receive a key to your own box. If you get your own box, then you don't have to pay to get in, but every now and again, you do have to sponsor a performer. So, it's not necessarily one would go for a date.
Well, that is unfortunate. We will have to find somewhere else that we can go to enjoy ourselves.
Yes.
Do I get the feeling, was this puzzle intended for her or for me?
Go ahead and roll insight with advantage.
It's gonna be...
Killer rolls.
20. Yeah,
This was not for Benevolence.
this was for me. Benevolence, darling, this strikes me as slightly odd, and given that I am an adventurous child who has dealt with things of this nature before, would it be alright if I explore this for you and ensure that it is safe?
Explore how? Do you mean to take the key to the patron's box?
Yes.
Well, can you return it to me quickly? If someone found out that... Heavens, I might get in trouble having a key to the patron's box when I'm not a patron, and I'm known to not be a patron.
Tuck it into my blouse. What key?
Do be careful, Angrod. That would be... Well, it would be quite troubling if you were to be found.
It is alright. I am skilled in making people like.
You are that. Well, then we do not speak of this, and I will see if I can't get the study back in order. That is quite quite alarming.
It is. Do they come to check the house every now and then, or because otherwise you might just leave it to our keys and then we could perhaps return things.
Well, I would not wish for the help to find anything amiss in the study. They do go in to clean, even if I don't use it.
All right. Whatever makes you more comfortable.
Right, well, thank you. I should really be getting to work. Have a lovely day, Engrad. I'll see you out.
Benevolence. I know that this morning was devoted to something beyond just us, but I want you to know that I still value your time, and I enjoyed spending this morning with you.
Well, thank you. I enjoy our time spent as well.
And I leave.
She goes ahead and escorts you out.
I gotta write notes on all of that shit.
Do you want me to make you coffee? I love you. It's almost anniversary. I don't know.
We traded back again.
Wow.
Huh?
Sierra. Aaron.
Okay.
Your story of Aaron.
That was
Best.
haunting.
Yeah,
It was
that
really
was so
good. It's my favorite thing that I've ever taken. Grace. She will kick you in the face.
Okay. Back to the tavern, I guess.
Jeez, what a morning.
Alright.
A little bit of this.
Yeah, that was a morning, man.
Definitely some of this.
None of this, God forbid.
Not a single bit.
She's like, I never tap and leave without solving a good riddle.
LOL.
Okay. So you go ahead and return to the tavern, and how do you inform everyone of... Do you inform everyone of what happened?
Yeah. Y'all do not believe the weirdest shit that just